Hi students, welcome back to today's class. So today is this third class. So for the last two classes, we have covered some problems, and in continuation of that, we are going ahead with the chapter one decision making tools on this cost and management, accounting and financial management. So guys, request you to practice all the problems. So my approach will be little different from what is stated in the book, because my aim is to make you think in a different way so that you can even understand what is prescribed in your book. At the same time, you can think in a different way so that you need not mug up any problem. You can go with the facts in hand itself. So if you have a formula, you can apply it anywhere and find the answer. So what I give is something like that. So it's compact. I have made it compact and given you in a compact way so that you can store it easily and deliver on your exams. Okay, so but make sure that you make a tabular column, you make a decision choice, you make a comparative statement, and what is the conclusion. So state everything very clearly and properly so that the evaluator will understand your so what is your objective and what is your conclusion and the result. Okay, so okay, let's go into today's problem. So let me read out the first problem. This is the decision making on maintaining the desired profit level. Illustration number 8 in your book. A company produces and markets industrial containers and packing cases. Due to competition, the company proposes to reduce the selling price. If the present level of profit is to be maintained at the P&L level, so if the present level of profit is to be maintained, indicate the number of units to be sold if the proposed reduction in selling price is 5%, 10% and 15%. So so there is a severe competitive pressure due to which the company is proposing three options of 5% reduction in selling price, 10% reduction in selling price and 15% reduction in selling price. The following is the additional information that is available. So present sales turnover 30,000 units has been sold. Present sales turnover is 3 lakh. So which means 10 rupees per unit is the selling price. Next variable cost for this is 1.8 lakh. Fixed cost of 70,000 rupees. So total cost put together 1.8 plus 70 comes to 2.5 lakhs and P&L profit is 50,000 rupees. So this is the question. So here we are just applying. Okay, so what we have to find here is the indicate the number of units to be sold if the proposed reduction in selling price. So with the help of reduction in the selling price, we can go on making little higher number of units. So that is the aim of this problem. So how much high number of what will be the quantity on the each case? So that is the question. So here the current profit is 50,000 rupees. So on all these three cases A, B and C, we have to maintain the P&L profit at 50,000 rupees. So let me just give you a formula which is the profit, which we have also seen in our earlier problems in our last two classes. So profit can be calculated, P&L profit, sales quantity multiplied by selling price per unit. So that is nothing but the turnover, or you can say the total sales, minus sales quantity multiplied by the variable cost per unit. Variable cost is something which varies with number of unit, and that is the concept or the fundamental basic rule of marginal costing. So that's why we are multiplying quantity multiplied by the variable cost unit. So as soon as one extra quantity you produce, one extra unit variable cost you will incur. So that is what is called variable in nature, which should be part of marginal cost. And for finding the contribution, from the sales we have to reduce all the variable cost. That gives you the contribution. So here the sales quantity minus multiplied by selling price per unit, sales minus the total variable cost will give you the contribution, and minus the fixed cost will give you the total profit. Okay, that will be the net profit. So Current selling price we can easily calculate. 3 lakh is the turnover through sales of 30,000 units, which means 10 rupees is the unit price. And selling price with 5% discount, if you apply 5% discount, it becomes 9.5 rupees, and 10% discount becomes 9 rupees, and 15% discount it becomes 8.5 rupees. That is the competitive pressure, guys. So when after completing your CMA, if you go to the finance department, you can find the competitive pressure, how it exists. Okay, so the pricing should be in such a fashion. We have to make our product sellable, marketable, and in the country like India, the customer will look at the price only before going to look at the quality or the anything. The first, whether it fits my budget or not. Okay, so that is the first point of selection for any Indian. So here the company is in severe pressure, so if it has to increase the sales volume, it has to decrease its price. And we as a finance people, we have to ensure the company is still making the money even after the sales discounts are given. Okay, so let's go ahead with the problem. So variable cost per unit, yes, we can easily find it. 1.8 lakhs is the total variable cost in the PNL, and 30,000 units has been sold. So 1.8 lakhs divided by 30,000 units is 6 rupees is the variable cost. Okay, and now we can apply the same formula which we saw in the bullet point 2. Okay, so the total profit, PNL profit, should be maintained at 50,000. Though we are proposing for going ahead with the discounts in the selling price, our profit has to be same. So what will be the quantity that we will sell? So 50,000 is the profit, is equal to sales quantity that we have to find, multiplied by 9.5 rupees is the discounted price with 5% discount. So we are doing for the case A. So with 5% discount, minus total variable cost has to be found, sales quantity multiplied by the variable cost per unit, that is not going to change. Okay, with any discount or anything, that is not going to change, minus, to find the net profit, we have to reduce the fixed cost, that is not going to change. 70,000 is the fixed cost at the company level, the P&L level. So we have to take the 70k as it is. So 9.5 times the sales quantity minus 6 times the sale quantity is nothing but 3.5 times the sales quantity. So 3.5 times the sales quantity will become 70k, goes from the your right hand side to the left hand side, and it makes 120k on your right hand side. So the sales quantity will be 34,286 numbers. So if you sell 34,286 numbers, your profit will be 50,000, which is same as the existing profit of 50,000 rupees, but you have to sell more. But to achieve this 34,000 sales, which is you have increased your sales from 30,000 units, you have increased your sales to 34,286 units, still you are maintaining the same profit, though you have reduced your selling price by 5%. So I think you will now be familiar with the complete formula. So the same case can be applied for the 10% discount in selling price and 15% discount in selling price. On either of the cases, the profit is going to be 50,000. We have to find the sales quantity. Okay, of course the sales quantity in the B is going to be more than A, and C is going to be more than B, because you have to sell more number of units, because you are selling with a discount in the selling price to achieve the same profit of 50,000 rupees. Okay, so this is a high level check that you have to make, because sometimes when you are thinking about something else in the exam, you may end up making a simple wrong calculation and a wrong result. So you have to have some checkpoints. So there is a very simple checkpoint here. So A, B, C, in all these three cases, the discount in the selling price is in the increasing trend, which means the number of quantity you have to sell to achieve the same level of profit is also going to be in the increasing trend. So sales quantity in the case A is going to be 34,286. In the B, it's going to be little higher than that. In the C, it is going to be little further higher than that. Okay, so let's move to the next problem. So here the decision making is on alternate course of action. Excel Limited manufactures and markets a single product. The following data are given. So material cost per unit is given, conversion cost per unit is given. So conversion cost, they have named it as variable. Dealer's margin is given. They have not given it variable or fixed. That is just to add little confusion to you, and in the panic of exam we should not do any mistakes. So dealer's margin is 4 rupees, selling price is 40 rupees. Okay, so the complete costing of the product costing is given here. Fixed cost is 5 lakhs, present sales is 90,000 units, capacity utilization is 60 percentage. There is a acute competition. Extra efforts are necessary to sell. Suggestions have been made for increasing the sales. By reducing the sales price by 5%, you can increase the sales. The second option is by increasing the dealer's margin by 25% on the existing rate. Okay, so if the dealer's margin is increased, dealers will be much more motivated and they will end up doing little more extra efforts for doing the sales. So that is the point of motivation for them. So that is the proposal. So these two proposals has come from the marketing department to the finance department. So finance department have they have to evaluate both the option, and whichever is the best has to be suggested to the marketing department. So which of these two suggestions you would recommend if the company desires to maintain the present profit? So it has given the present, okay, the P&L level profit is not given, but we can easily calculate because we know the sales is 90,000 units. So 90,000 units multiplied by 40 rupees is going to be your total sales turnover or total sales. And you have the variable costs also, which is 16 plus 12, and dealer's margin it is going to vary with the number of items sold. So it varies with the quantity. So we have to take it as a variable. Though it is not given as a variable, we should not consider it as fixed. It should be part of variable. So one more clue that is there is fixed cost is given as the P&L level. It is given as 5 lakh rupees total. So dealer's margin alone will not be left out of the fixed cost. So it is not classified as fixed cost in your P&L. So it is variable. That is one clue. The second clue, the second fact is it is going to vary with the quantity. So in this case, if you see, dealer's margin usually will be given as a percentage of selling price. So 40 rupees is a selling price and 4% is the dealer's margin, which shows that 10% of your sales is dealer's margin. Okay, so this is what is okay. So here we have to maintain the profit. So a company desires to maintain the present level of profit. So you can easily calculate the present profit. Okay, we can apply the same formula which we have seen in our earlier problem also. So current profit is sales quantity minus multiplied by the selling price per unit, which is the total sales, minus sales quantity multiplied by variable cost per unit, which is going to be the total variable cost. This gives you the contribution minus the fixed cost is going to give you the present level of profit, which comes to 220k, 220,000 or 2.2 lakhs. Okay, so case A. In the case A, we are reducing the sales price by 5%. Sales price here is given as 40 rupees. So 40 rupees with a 5% discount, it becomes 38 rupees. So will the dealer's margin change? Here is where we have to apply our mind. Okay, so that's why we have to define the dealer's margin. You have defined it as variable. You should also define the dealer's margin in relation with your selling price. So that's why we have said 40 rupees of selling price, 4 rupees of dealer's margin, which is nothing but 10%. So now we are giving discount of 5% and making the selling price as 38 rupees. So the dealer's margin, which is 10%, should become 3.8 rupees, which means there is a reduction in your variable cost also with a reduction in the selling price. So this is a very cautious step. If it goes wrong, your problem will go wrong. Okay, so we have to be very clear with this dealer's margin. So we have identified what is the selling price and we have identified what is the dealer's margin. So in case A, so this should be case B. There is a typo error. So in the case B, for increasing the sales, the proposal from the marketing department is dealer's margin, increase the dealer's margin by 25%. Okay, so selling price is not changed, but dealer's margin is going to be increased 25 by 25%. So 4 rupees is the current dealer's margin, and 4 rupee plus 25 percentage of 4 rupees, it's nothing but 125 percentage of 4 rupees, which is 5 rupees. So now the variable cost per unit is calculated at the present level. So present level, I think there is a typo error here. Okay, so let me apply the formula here. So 220k, the present level of profitability is applied. So we have already calculated the present profit is 220k, which is 2.2 lakhs. So 2.2 lakhs is equal to, we have to find the sales quantity, okay, for these two proposals given by the marketing. So 38 rupees is the selling price in the case A, and 31.8 is the variable cost. So how this becomes 31.8? If you see, material is 16, variable is 12, conversion cost is 12, putting together it becomes 28, and 28 and 3.8 rupees is the dealer's margin, putting together it becomes 31.8 is the variable cost. So we have to apply the correct variable cost to find the contribution of this problem, and minus fixed cost, whatever may be the case. P&L level fixed cost is not going to change. It does not vary with the quantity produced. That's why it is called as fixed cost in the philosophy of marginal costing. So 5 lakhs or 500k is reduced from here. So from this formula you can calculate that the sales quantity is 116k. You can put the exact number. So here I have rounded up and put 116,000 of the sales quantity. The second case is increasing the dealer margin by 25%. So here the sales selling price is going to be the same that is given in the current level, 40 rupees, but the dealer's margin has gone up by 1 rupee. So which means from 4 rupee it has gone up to 5 rupees. So it has become 33 rupees here, and in this case the sales quantity will become 103k, which means approximately 1 lakh and 3,000. In the case 1 it looks like 1 lakh and 16,000. So guys, we should not lose mind in while answering the problem. So here we may end up saying A is better because more number of sales quantity we are making than B. But what is the question? Okay, here we have to maintain the present level of profit. So in both the cases the profit is same. So that is where is the crux is. So here one you have to sell 116,000 to make a profit of 202.2 lakhs, or you can sell 103,000 or 1.03 lakhs to make a profit of 2.2 lakhs, which is the same profit. So which you will choose? Okay, so in this case that it is clearly said there is acute competition, and extra efforts is necessary to sell. So which means there is a acute competition. You may require more efforts for selling. So marketing may require some more labors. So you can put some, if you produce lesser quantity, you can, some of your labors may be free and you can send them also to any duties that is assigned from marketing department. Or in another case, extra efforts is required to sell. So if you sell more number of quantity, more efforts is required and it will add to more cost or something. So in that case, looking at less number of effort to achieve the same level of profit. So here from the finance department point of view, we can suggest the second option, which is to maintain the same profit you can sell the lesser number of quantity, okay, which is 103k. But here there is one more point that should be noted. There is the information that is lying idle. Capacity utilization is 60%. So with 60% capacity utilization, present sales is 90,000. Okay, so for producing 90,000 units they have utilized the capacity of only 60%. So which means the 100%, what is the capacity, is 90,000 divided by 60 percentage is equal to 1.5 lakhs unit. So which means the company is having a capacity to manufacture 1.5 lakh unit, and both the option, the case 116 lakhs or 1.16 lakh or 1.03 lakh, both the cases within 1.5 lakhs. This is information I just added over and above this for while printing your question paper. If our institute prints this as 90 percentage instead of capacity utilization is 90 percentage instead of 60, there is a twist in the question. You have to answer it differently. Okay, so in that case, some of your choices, the capacity may be little, the sales quantity may be higher than the capacity, which means it is not possible. Okay, so in that case you have to skip one of the suggestion and you have to go. So there may be some information which looks like lying idle, but it may add more value. So that's why though our book is silent about this information, it is a very important information, and there may be typo error in the question paper, because of which this 60% may be printed as 90 or 95 percentage. In that case you cannot produce 116k, I think. So you can do the math behind. Okay, so I think I have one more problem for the day. Yes. So this is the last problem for the day. Profit planning. So illustration number 10. Ambitious Enterprises is currently working at 50 percentage capacity and produces 10,000 units. So with 50% capacity, they are producing 10,000. So which means 100% capacity, they have a capacity of 20,000 units. At 60 percentage working, raw material cost increases by 2 percentage and selling price fall by 2 percentage. At 80 percentage working, raw material cost increases by 5 percentage and selling price fall by 5 percentage. Okay, if we apply common sense for this information, guys, usually when our capacity increases, capacity utilization increases, which means we are going to make more number of units. When you are making more number of units, you are going to purchase more number of inputs for that, or more number of raw materials for that. Then actually you're going to purchase a big lot, so which means you may get discount, but in this case it increases. So which means the company usually will have 2 or 3 suppliers for the same item, just to de-risk the supply base. So they will not procure all their item from one supplier. What they will do, they will they will procure from 2 3 suppliers, because if one guy goes down, if there is any accident or if there is any other incident in that company, or is there any, if he may become bankrupt, so because of a supplier we cannot stop our company. So usually the company will have many suppliers. So one of the supplier may quote 1 or 2 rupees extra, other supplier may quote little bit more, because their location will be in a higher rented commercial base, or they may have employees which are highly paid. So there will be the price difference between the vendors. So to increase the 50% capacity to 60% capacity, they have to procure more raw material, of course. It's okay. So here there is an increase in the material cost. So I just said the common sense reason behind this increase in the raw material. So selling price fall by 2%. So here you are making more number of units, so you have to sell more number of units. So if you give the discount, you can sell it. So there is a common sense behind this. So at 80% level, your material cost will further increase. Okay, and selling price will fall by 5 percentage. At 50% capacity working, which is the present scenario, the product cost is 180 rupees per unit and is sold at 200 rupees per unit. The cost of 180 is as follows. So 180 breakup is given below. Material cost is 100, wages is 30, 130, and factory overheads it is given as 30 rupees. 40 percentage is fixed, so which means 60 percentage is variable, which is part of your marginal cost. Administration overhead 20 rupees, which means 50 percentage is fixed, remaining 50 percentage is variable, which forms part of your marginal cost. So we have to be little careful in calculating the marginal cost, or we may end up doing a wrong calculation in the contribution. So prepare a marginal cost statement showing the estimated profit of the business when it is operated at 60 percentage and 80 percentage. So here we are not going to do any decision, but what we are going to do is put to the management that what will be the profitability in both the cases. Okay, 60% operation and 80% capacity utilization. Okay, so here your book has calculated or put the table in a different way. I wantedly made the table in a little bit different way. So this is how the tables will be little bit made uh, when you go for your job in your finance department. So I just want to make it something different way. Also, it can bring some more information into your mind if you see the same table in a different fashion. So I request you to go by book, but for knowledge purposes, you can also walk through this and understand the facts, underlying facts. So the current capacity is 50 percentage, so which means the full capacity is going to be 20,000 units. That is the information we discussed earlier. So production quantity at 60 percentage utilization is 12,000. Okay, so 50 percentage capacity utilization, you are producing 10,000 units. So at 60,000, how much you will produce? 12,000 units. And at 80 percentage utilization, you will produce 16,000 units. So this is the first calculation that we are making. So now we have three cases: the capacity utilization of 50 percentage, which is the current scenario, and 60 percentage and 80 percentage. 60 percentage and 80 percentage. So on all the three cases, what will be the number of units sold? So we have discussed that 10,000, 12,000 and 16,000. So 12,000 and 16,000 has to be calculated. That is not given in the question. So material cost, yes, we have the data. 100 rupees is the material cost in the case 1. In the case 2, the material cost increases by 2 percentage. Yes, it becomes 102. And in 80% case, the material cost increased by 5 percentage. So 100 rupees becomes 105. So what will be the total material cost? Material cost per unit multiplied by the number of units that is sold. So 10,000 multiplied by 100, 12,000 multiplied by 102. So the total material cost is calculated here. Wages per unit is 30 rupees. In all the cases, it is going to remain the same. So 30, 30, 30, and total wages is calculated multiplying the number of units. Factory variable overhead per unit. So factory overheads is given as 30 rupees, in which 40% is fixed, which means 60 percentage is variable. So 60 percentage of 30 rupees is 18, and that is not changing in all the cases. So 18, 18, 18. So we are multiplying the variable cost per unit multiplied by the number of units will give you the total factory variable cost, variable overheads. Next is variable administration overheads. 20 rupees is given in the question. 50 rupees is fixed. So remaining, 50 percentage is fixed. So remaining 50 percentage is variable. So 50 percentage of 20 is 10 rupees. So 10 rupees is on all the cases, it's going to be the same. So the total variable administration overhead can be found by multiplying with the number of units and total marginal cost. So whatever I have highlighted in yellow, if you add those things, you will get the marginal cost. Marginal cost is nothing but the total variable cost of the product. So the total metal cost plus total wages plus total factory variable overheads, total administration variable overheads put together, total marginal cost is calculated for all the cases. Let's proceed for making the estimated profit statement as asked in the question. So the capacity utilization, as usual, I have not changed the first two columns. Next, the total marginal cost. Yes, we have the data here calculated in the first table. So I have brought all those data here. Now the selling price per unit. The current selling price is given as 200 per unit, and we are discounting by 2 percentage in 60% case, and we are discounting by 5% in the 80% case. So the selling price becomes 200, and in the 60% case it becomes 196, and 80% case it becomes 190. So the total sales is calculated as selling price per unit multiplied by the number of units. So the total sales is calculated is nothing but the turnover. So the next we have to go to the contribution. Contribution is nothing but the sales minus total marginal cost. So the contribution for the all the three cases is calculated. Next we have to find the fixed overheads. So previously we have calculated the variable overhead, fixed overhead. So here you can exclude these two columns, 12 rupees and 10 rupees, because fixed overhead is not calculated on per unit basis. So fixed overhead, just for the knowledge purposes, what I have did is 30 rupees is the factory overhead, which means 40 percentage is fixed. So 40 percentage of 30 rupees is 12 rupees, and 12 rupees multiplied by current level of production is 10,000 units. So 12 multiplied by 10,000 is 1.2 lakhs. Okay, and this is a fixed, and this will not be changing with any level of capacity utilization. Here is where the crux of the problem, where there the mistakes will happen. Okay, so till this point, you would all, till the calculation of contribution, nobody would have done any mistake. If you have understood the little bit fundamentals of math and arithmetic is enough to calculate till there. But in this step is what exists the philosophy of marginal costing, and here most of the students does the mistake if they have not understood the marginal costing. So what does the marginal costing says? Variable cost will change with the quantity of production or quantity of sales, but the fixed cost will remain constant. Okay, so which means if you sell anything, or if you produce anything, your fixed cost is going to remain the same at any level of production or any level of capacity utilization or any level of sales. So here in the current scenario, what will be the P&L fixed cost? P&L factory fixed cost. I would say factory fixed cost 40% is fixed. 40% on 30 rupees is become 12 rupees, and 12 rupees multiplied by 10,000 is 1.2 lakh. So even if you produce 12,000 or 16,000, the 1.2 lakhs is going to remain constant. 1.2, 1.2 lakhs, 1.2 lakhs. The same case is applicable for the administration overhead also. 50% is fixed on 20 rupees. So 50% of 20 rupees is 10 rupees. So 10 rupees multiplied by 10,000 units is 1 lakh rupee. And in all the cases, it's not going to change because it is fixed. It does not vary with the quantity. So 1 lakh is going to remain the same. So if you reduce the factory fixed and admin fixed from the contribution, you are going to find the total profit. So on all the three cases, this will be the profitability or the P&L profit for the company, or you can say it as net profit also for the company, because P&L profit will have the income tax, all those items. So I would say it as a net profit before taxes. Okay, so that's what. So that's it for the day, guys. So request you to practice as much as possible. Go through the video once more if you have a doubt. Okay, all the very best, guys.